What is going on, guys? Miles here, and in this video I'll be sharing what I think are the top 5 worst DLC weapons in Black Ops 3 multiplayer. A couple of things to note about this. One, I'm not going to include melee weapons because they're exactly the same and they're all worse than ranged weapons, so that would be kind of hard to do. And number 2, I'm actually recording this like late September 2017, so they may add more DLC weapons after this, which I won't be able to judge. And thirdly, this at the end of the day is just my opinion, so you guys may think some other weapon is worse, but here is my 5 worst DLC weapons. Coming in at number 5 has got to be the RSA Interdiction, which is one of 2 DLC sniper rifles in the game, and I think a lot of people may like this gun and want to get it because it's a sniper rifle and they are fun to use, but I think this gun is actually just pretty bad in general, and there's nothing to me which really stands out about this weapon. There are 2 DLC snipers in the game. We have the DBSR and the RSA Interdiction. Both of them are bolt action and they have the same damage, which is 75. But the DBSR actually shoots 2 bullets before you have the bolt action, and that's like the unique feature about that. And the unique feature about the RSA is that it has a tiny bit of aim assist, which is really hard to even notice when you're in game, to be honest, and you do have to use the bolt action feature after every single shot, which is a bit of a problem considering its low damage of 75. For reference, the Locust has 95 damage and the Drakon even, which is a semi-auto sniper, has 80 damage, which is obviously more than the RSA Interdiction, so I just don't think this gun is very good at all. The RSA Interdiction does still get a one-shot kill if you shoot them in the mid or above torso, which is a worse area than the Locust itself, where you can get a one-shot kill if you shoot anywhere in the torso or above, because that has a 2 times multiplier. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the L4 Siege, which is one of 2 DLC launchers in the game, and unfortunately I do have this weapon myself. I'm not a very huge fan of it, and this weapon just seems to be like mediocre in everything but not good at anything at all, which makes it a pretty poor weapon overall, and most people do not want to get this gun if they do open a bribe supply drop. This thing is pretty interesting because it can shoot at people as well as score streaks, and it holds 4 bullets in a magazine, which is quite unique because all the other launchers in the game only hold 1, which is like the only good side to the L4 Siege. Like, the problem with it though is that its damage is really poor, and if you're shooting it at people, you literally can't get a one-shot kill unless you hit them with a direct impact, because it only does 72 damage through splash damage, which is obviously not going to kill someone if they're on full HP. And this thing isn't very good against score streaks either, as it takes 2 shots to take down a UAV, which I believe the Black Cell and the XM only take 1 each, so I think this gun is just really poor, and I don't really use it myself. I think I have like 1 class with it where occasionally I'll shoot down a UAV to try and get some camos, but other than that, in my opinion, it's pretty much dead content. Because if you want to shoot people with the launcher, you may as well use the XM53, which has way more damage, and if you want to take out score streaks, you might as well just use the Black Cell because it takes only 1 shot to take out a UAV and less shots to take out the bigger score streaks in the game, such as the wrap ships. For the 3rd worst DLC weapon, I'm actually going to combine 2 weapons, and that is the Banshee as well as the Rift E9, because both of them work very similarly. They're both energy weapons and they both shoot projectiles. And if I tell you that they both sort of like one-shot kill and that they have infinite range, then you may think these weapons are absolutely amazing, but I think the fact that they're projectiles actually hinders them an absolute crap ton, and I think it makes them really difficult to use in the game. So the Rift D9 actually shoots 2 bullets at once. Each one can deal 51 damage, meaning if both of them hit, then you get a kill. And the Banshee actually does 101 damage with the projectile, which is absolutely amazing because you can kill someone across the map with a shotgun. But the problem is, like, it's kind of hard to predict where someone will be in the future when you're trying to kill someone with these weapons, which I think makes them pretty much impossible to use. And if you try and use them close range, you're probably just going to get outgunned by something like the Marshalls, the Brecci, or the KRM, so I don't think these guns are very viable in game. Coming in at number 2 is going to be the other DLC launcher in the game, which is the Max GL, which is basically the China Lake from Black Ops 1. And despite this gun being buffed a lot for Black Ops 3, it is still, in my opinion, a very poor DLC weapon, and I hope I never get it from a supply drop because I probably will never use it if I do so. The max GL does anywhere between 140 to 70 damage depending on how close the enemy is to the explosion, which may sound like a lot, but actually it's not very good at all, because if you take a look at the XM53, that thing does anywhere between 470 damage, which is way higher than the China Lake. So I don't really see why I would ever use the China Lake over the XM, other than the fact that it holds 2 bullets in the magazine rather than the XM, which only holds 1, and even then you still have the pump action feature, which you have to do after every shot. So I think the China Lake in this game feels super sluggish, and that is why it's going to be my number 2 weapon. A couple of extra things to note about the China Lake is that 1, if someone's using Flak Jacket, you're going to have a really freaking hard time trying to kill them. And also, because in Black Ops 3 they have the jetpacks, a lot of people are in the air a lot of the time, which is going to make it super difficult to try and hit someone and kill someone with the explosive grenade launcher. And in my opinion, the worst DLC weapon in the game has got to be the ballistic knife, which you guys may think this is a melee weapon, but you can get it from ranged bribe supply drops, so it counts as a gun in this game, and unfortunately I do have it. Let's do this. At least we're getting a non-dupe DLC weapon, so I'll take it, man. Let's do this. What are we gonna get? God damn it, dude. We cursed ourselves. We cursed ourselves. God damn it, dude. We got the freaking ballistic knife, which really sucks, but I guess if there's a non-dupe supply drop, I'll never get it again. But this thing pretty much is a melee weapon. I don't really use it, and it has a shooting feature, but the gun doesn't have much ammo, and it's really hard to hit someone with the projectile, so I barely use the projectile feature, and when I do use the ballistic knife, I do just try and melee people with it. And also with the ballistic knife, this thing just gets outclassed by the NX Shadow Claw in like every single way. I can't really think of any reason why you'd want to use the ballistic knife over the NX Shadow Claw, so in my opinion this is the worst gun in the game. But there we have it. They are going to be my top 5 worst DLC weapons currently in Black Ops 3 multiplayer. Let me know what you think of these guns. Do you have any of them? Do you agree or disagree? And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty, but I'll see you guys in my next video.